Thousands of people gathered to eat crustaceans from Maine and San Pedro. Minerva Trujillo went to the Lobster Festival for the story.
It's the 12th annual Lobster Festival at the Port of Los Angeles in San Pedro. People stood in line to have their lobsters chopped and prepared for the chowdown. The lobster cooker you see here can cook more than 2,000 live lobster per hour. Stephen Domingue came to the festival to share his recipes.
Well, you know, since I've been on this TV show with Food Network and getting off, my truck is going crazy. Everybody wants my food truck out at all these festivals.
The star of the festival was the lobster, and people ate every bit of it. Every year, the Port of Los Angeles brings in over 16 tons of live lobsters directly from the Gulf of Maine. The Port of Los Angeles holds the Guinness World Record for the most seafood served at an outdoor event. Jim Hall, producer of the festival, says they are getting more creative with the lobster recipes.
We're looking to expand our variety of lobster things. We have lobster tamales. I think we've got some lobster tacos out there right now. By next year, it's going to be the crustacean nation here.
The festival went well into the night, where people enjoyed games, more food, and performers. This lobster fan drove many miles to get here.
We're from San Diego, so came over here to take a look at the Lobster Fest and enjoy it with family and see how everything goes. We'll probably stop by, take a look at the concerts.
This is Minerva Trujillo for Valley View News.
That's it for entertainment. Back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Nicole. Coming up, the government may soon have new power to check communication on the internet, and the Lakers started training camp.
A proposed regulation could make it easier for the U.S. government to eavesdrop on internet and email communications. The Obama administration wants Congress to okay greater access to encrypted emails such as BlackBerry, Facebook, and services like Skype. Federal law enforcement and national security officials say the regulations are needed because terrorists and criminals are communicating online more and using their phones less.
Mock TV News anchor Stephen Colbert has faced perhaps his toughest crowd yet. Colbert appeared before a U.S. House subcommittee to talk about day laborers' rights. This was because of a program launched by the United Farm Workers. It invites legal citizens to work in the fields for a day, picking produce, for example. Colbert took on this challenge and says it was harder than he expected.
We have to do something because I am not going back out there. At this point, I break into a cold sweat at the side of a salad bar.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says he had a right to voice his opinion as an American. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer says he does not agree with how Colbert represented himself. Representative Zoe Lofgren invited Colbert to the hearing and says she has no regrets.
Stink bugs have people holding their noses along the East Coast. An infestation of these little bugs finds them crawling on houses, lights, and walls. The stinky critters migrated to the U.S. from China in the 1990s. The pests are looking for a place to stay during the colder months ahead. Officials say this is the worst invasion they have seen. The bugs don't bite, but they certainly do live up to their name. They infest homes and destroy crops. Officials do not recommend using pesticides on the bugs. Instead, they suggest using a vacuum cleaner to suck up living and dead bugs.
UCLA faced one of the top-ranked teams in college football. Rory O'Sullivan is here to tell us about it in sports.
Rick Neuheisel's UCLA Bruins have long needed a win against a top team. The Bruins got that chance against number 7, Texas Longhorns. After a turnover by the Longhorns, the Bruins' Kevin Price rolls and hits Ricky Marvray in the end zone for a 1-yard TD. Jonathan Franklin takes a handoff out of the shotgun and goes 11 yards for the TD, ending the game with 118 yards. Late in the third quarter, the Bruins quarterback calls his own number and takes it in 38 yards for the touchdown. And the Bruins make Longhorn beef stew in Austin, winning 34-12. The Oakland Raiders and Arizona Cardinals both needed a win to stay above 500. The Arizona Cardinals started off the game on the right and left foot of speedster LaRod Stevens-Howling, scoring in the first 15 minutes of the contest on a kickoff return. but the Cardinals take the lead back in the third. With seconds left and the game on the line, Oakland's kicker misses wide left, giving the Cardinals a 24-23 win. The Lakers open training camp, and the defending champs are sounding confident about a three-peat. They're not worried about Andrew Bynum missing all of November because of his surgically repaired knee or Kobe Bryant's knee. The team also says Lamar Odom playing in the World Championships, no concern. And that super team down in Miami, team captain Derek Fisher says that the best team resides on the Pacific, not Atlantic coast. The Lakers are confident, and they believe they're still the best team. The season will prove them right, or it'll prove them wrong. The Rockies tried to keep their playoff hopes alive in San Francisco against the Giants. The Rockies headed to San Fran to spoil the Giants' playoff run. Fran Sanchez has other ideas and hits it deep down the left field line for a 2-home run bomb. In the bottom of the 8th, the Rockies come up with their own 2-run bomb. But it's not enough. And the 4-2 win gives the Giants a tie in the NL West wild card and the NL West lead. That's it for sports. Back to you, Brittany.
The U.S. Justice Department is looking into reports of widespread cheating within the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Some FBI agents were allegedly caught copying and sharing answers on a test about policies on surveillance. This isn't the only scandal to hit the FBI recently. The Justice Department also found that FBI agents gave inaccurate information on a domestic terrorism investigation in Pittsburgh. An inspector from the Justice Department has called on the Bureau to discipline the agents and throw out their scores. Most of the employees under investigation took the test in May of 2009 and January of this year.
Hundreds of people attended the second annual Lamert Park Village African Art and Music Festival. Valley View News reporter Tadevik Degranian took in the sights, sounds, and food.
This was the music heard at the second annual Lamert Park Village Festival as people gathered to celebrate the arts and culture of African Americans.
I am a very big fan of African art. And I recently made a trip to Kenya and Tanzania where I collected some beautiful carved pieces and beads. Because beading is my hobby. And I love to see what the different cultures produce.
The festivity opened with a musical number to honor Brother Ogum, who recently passed away.
He was one of the original drummers. He actually was responsible for the drum, the tradition of African drum rhythm, the language from Africa being taught, learned here for over 30 years.
The Lamert Park Group is an emerging arts organization that brings year-round cultural, artistic, and educational programs to the Lamert Park Village and its surrounding area. The theme of this year's event was Community Counts.
Everybody's going through very difficult times, and so it's at times like this, as well as good times, that people really come together and help each other out.
There were more than 30 vendors selling paintings, sculptures, jewelry, calendars, clothing, and even sweets.
We live in Southern Africa and we go around and we collect artwork from the actual artisans. We've been coming across now to the US for 20 years, and this is the African Marketplace, is one of our main shows, and we bring the artwork specifically for this kind of crowd and this group.
The festival also had activities for children such as rock climbing, face painting, and artwork. People enjoyed some Jamaican cuisine as others looked around vendors and enjoyed the music. Organizers say they hope that this event will bring the community closer and teach people about other cultures. In Los Angeles, I'm Tadevik Degranian for Valley View News.
Well, that certainly looked like a fun event. For Nicole Ciccarelli and Rory O'Sullivan, I'm Brittany Silverstein.
And I'm Matt Vanderveer. Have a great day.